Hey everyone, this is Frenchie replacing Jay Wade. He's in the background producing for today. On with me is my boy Double D. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. I just got back from a wedding yesterday, and I just finished watching the tournament finals between Griffey Newman and Barbarian, so I'm happy to be here talking about that.
How's the hangover level? Not that bad?
Well, I knew I was going to be driving for an hour, and I'm not going to drive and drink at the same time because
This-
I'm a smart person.
There you go. Probably the smartest of us all, to be honest. On with us from the other side of the world, it's Kiwi. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you on. And my man, Mr. Soda. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Frenchie. How about you? Nice to see all you lovely people again.
I'm good. I for a second there I wasn't sure if I was pressing buttons or not, so I saw the delay and pressed the button. So
There you go. There you go.
all right. We have a lot to talk about. This is technically the last week of digital matches. Before we start, I just want to see, are you guys happy? Are you guys sad to see the digital leave?
I mean, I could take either a digital match or a live match, but or in studio match per se, but I definitely like seeing them live. I definitely like hearing the background people booing or cheering on the background. I did miss that, so I am happy to hear that come back. So I am happy to some extent on the live studio matches going back.
What
I'm
about you,
excited
Soda?
to see them
Yeah.
because I haven't gotten that as being a freshie. I just don't. I haven't really gotten enough of a taste of that, so it'll be exciting to change that for me.
I'm in the same boat as Double D. Like, I mean, at this point, I've gotten used to the digital matches, but it is missing that extra something, and that is the fan interaction. I miss here. I know we're not going to get it, but I miss hearing Cobbs through the back going, ah! Ah! Or Makuga booing, or RB3 laughing. Like, I miss that stuff. So I'm looking forward to them to come back to studio next year.
I get it, but like Christian said, it's been 2 years of digital. I actually fell in love with digital. Look, I get the whole booze and everything. This for me, like live events for like the big events are fun, but I don't always need that. I just need the competitors to bring it on, right?
Mm.
Is it cool? Yes, but I like the digital format, and again, I like the digital speed round. I know not a lot of people like it. It's my favorite compared to the buzzer. It
Mm.
shows the knowledge of both people, not
Mhm.
just the fastest, right? So for me, I always prefer that, and I'm kind of sad to see it's going away. All right, so look, we got a loaded card here today, so we're only going to talk about one match for our intro, but this is a hell of a match: Newman versus Bibiani. Let's start with Double D. What's your thoughts?
I mean, it was pretty interesting for Bibbs and Griffey Newman kind of missing the exact same questions in round one. And maybe it's just because they were just, I think it was just the difficulty of the questions. So to see them that they were actually very close in round one, and then just as it progressed, it seemed like Bibbs was going to win because, as the kind of general rule we established, is that if you grow your lead into round two, odds are you're better to win. But Griffey Newman won. So it's nice to see that sometimes statistics doesn't always play a factor into the actual gameplay. So that's always the kind of rule that I want to express. Is that just because that's what the statistics say doesn't mean that's what's going to happen.
There's a lot of luck into it, but there's a lot of also, yeah, well, luck. You either know it or you don't. Bibiani knows a lot, but man, Newman again. A lot of people are comparing him to what Coyote did. This feels different than
Yeah.
Coyote. This really feels different. What do you feel like since you are new again, Kiwi? For those who have just joined us, she just joined Schmoedown around a month ago, so you don't know really the whole Coyote thing, but you are already a Newman show. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. I've just latched on to the guy, and I've pretty much picked him as my number one, no matter what. So I'm so excited because even still, even watching the one with Bibiani, I was like, if anyone could take him out of the running, it would be him. If anyone could take my boy out of the title shot, that would be it. And then he pulled through, and I was like,
And what makes you like again? Since this is your new perspective, like what
mm,
latched on to him? Like compared to Bibiani, which is a legend, we don't really know,
mm.
but he's knowledgeable. What latched on to Newman's just like that?
Well, that's the thing is I don't come into it thinking of Bibiani as a legend because I don't have that background. Even though I get told from outside sources that he is one of the greats, and I totally respect that. Griffin's got this. really compelling character. He's got all of his knowledge down, so he's got that.
Nice show.
He's got that pretty much the total package. He's knows his character. Like, take him at the live event, a few weeks ago, where he changed jackets and everything like that. Like, he had everything prepared. He knows how to play the game, and he's got the knowledge to back it up. And I fully get behind someone like that.
And Soda.
Yeah, Griffey is. I'm on board with him now. And to echo what Jess said, you watch him at the live event, that man gets it. Not only is he knowledgeable, but he gets how to play the game. He gets the character work. He's a showman at heart, and it's definitely coming through. This match was interesting because normally we see Griffey Nooms do really good in the first round, and both of them missed a bunch of questions. And also, the swings that happened in this match, going into the fourth round, you thought it was going to go one way, and it went a totally different. What?
Nothing.
I heard voices. Sorry.
No problem.
What?
Yeah, I heard too.
No, this was one of the more emotional matches that I have seen this year, just because you didn't quite know which way it was going to go halfway through, and it ended up turning out pretty much how most of us called it, and it was a fun match. And I just want to shout out, going into the sudden death, Griffey News is like, man, those first round questions were hard, weren't they?
It's
holy shit.
something not normal, but if the first round questions are head scratchers compared to the third round questions,
Yeah.
Is it a good thing, or is it just something unbalanced?
See, it makes sense the first round questions were harder for this because it is the tournament final. That makes sense. It's just the third round ones being slightly easier was a little bit of a head scratcher.
No, that's true. That's true. But at the same time, I personally like the fact that you challenge them right off the bat, because that changes the whole dynamic of the game. We're so used to people going 8 questions in, bonus round, always, going to high scores. But you can really, really get in your head if you have 3 points, 4 points. And it affects the rest of the game. And it could, flip the coin on really the results. And I think that's what kind of happened here. Bibiani, he is known to get in his head, not too much, but he's still known to get his head. Yeah. And that kind of factor, I really think, did play into him losing. What do you guys think?
I wouldn't say that wouldn't play a factor, because he was leading at the end of round 1, and even by the end of in round 2, he only went to multiple choice once. So if he did, it wasn't for as long as maybe as other people like Roku, who would just stay there, or Jeff Snyder, he would just stay there, and you would need to bring him out. I think maybe Coy just brought him out as quickly. So I feel like maybe just that he only missed in the final round. He only missed his 3-pointer. So I think he's just laying down there, or just I forgot what he did. But so I wouldn't say like he was like so sunk into his own feelings that he wasn't able to get out of it.
And also because this match was
got the dodgeball question wrong, if you want to know. It was nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Yeah. That was Ben Stiller in dodgeball.
I actually knew that one. It's one of very few Schmoedown questions. I'm like, I know that one.
I could. Yes, he was telling me. No, because this wasn't done live, we obviously don't see what exactly Coy was saying to Bibbs, so he probably was able to bring him out of that void, because that's the type of relationship they have. It's a perfect manager-player relationship, and I think he was able to bring it out. That's true. That is true. Because I've got who he played here so far, and he started off the season against Mark Edward Hoyk, then Jacoby Bancroft, and then he played Video Drew, Josh Horowitz, and Paige in the tournament. So Bibiani was his first true test, because he's a 2-time former champ, or is it 1? 2-time.
You're asking me?
He won the
singles. Oh, that was the numbers guy.
Yeah, he won the singles once, and he won the teams once, lost it, and then he won it again. So he's a 2-time champion.
Yeah, so Bibbs is the first true upper echelon player that Griffin has played, and you know what? He held his own and he came out on top. It's really all you need.
All right. And also, does that make Newman, by the way, because again, we're talking about Newman, we'll talk about Bibbs a bit later on, but does that make Newman the best rookie ever?
The only thing I'm going to argue against that, because I know we're going to make the inevitable comparison to Collins from last season, is that Collins' first match was the play-in for the tournament, whereas Griffey had already had 2 matches, 2 singles, and a free-for-all under his belt by the time the tournament started. So I might lean a little bit more to Collins because we didn't see anything of him prior to the tournament, unlike Griff, who we've seen since the beginning of the year. That's the only reason I would give Collins the edge.
And I'll also give Collins the edge as well because he played Roca in his second match.
Yeah.
So and he knocked out Roca real quickly. So yeah, I would say
Look at this.
Bit, but
Now,
more impressive.
that's for singles. Now, if we're going to include the teams in there, then yes, I will give it to Newman.
And this is what I mean. It's like we're encompassing everything. Like
Everything? Yeah, okay.
As much as I love the Coyote, he had amazing success in singles.
Yes.
Teams,
That would be good. Build a faction around
People
him.
need to stop sleeping on him, honestly. Throughout this tournament, people have been like, yeah, I know, but he's not going to get that far. Even within our own Schmoes of the North, I was fighting people for him.
And because me and you have been going again this current of knowing, believing in the Finstock and change until now. Apparently,
I'm a total Finstock shell.
I've supported them since the beginning. I made their ears bleed, and I'm sure they're tired of me saying it. But when everyone at first the draft were like, "Oh, who's this Nunes guy? They're crazy." I'm like, yes, it's crazy. Doesn't mean it's not going to work. And then, okay, they won against rookies. They'll never win against veterans. Look what's happening now. They're in contention of winning. Okay.
Yeah. I predicted. I said exactly what you said earlier in the year, and I pissed Barbarian off. And I am going to officially. Where's a hat that I can eat for it? I'm going to eat my Karate Kid bandana.
All right. Now, because and again, it was a lot of work, a lot of like uncommon, unusual ways of doing it. But again, that's Finstock. And again, I'm probably gonna give Jay Wade an aneurysm in the background here. But if they win the faction, manager of the year.
Yeah,
I do have a question for Double D because he's the numbers guy.
Yeah.
I have a question. What would it take for Finstock not to win the faction standings? Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like what series of events need to happen for them not to take it out?
Okay, so really quick. Marisol would need to defend the singles belt. Simple as that. And also Finstock not getting any belts at all. So he would have to lose the teams and lose the singles at the same time.
So there's more of a chance they win than they lose.
There is more of a chance they win because Shannon would need both belts if Finstock Exchange manages to win the teams but lose the singles. Shannon needs to keep the IG belt. So it's more of a risk to bet on corruption than Finstock Exchange because they have more of a possibility to win.
I've got the standings right now, and it is a clear 10-point lead for the Finstock Exchange.
That's what I wanted. Why I knew Double D would know how they would.
We're gonna break that down at Spectacular before it. So we're gonna find all the different possibilities, and I'm actually trying to make an animation that's like, okay, what if this team wins and this team wins and this team wins, and then it just shows you where they would be. So I'm working on that, and hopefully by Spectacular we'll have that.
And again, I gotta say, like the bravo to the cockiness of corruption and Shannon saying, "Hey, we already run. There's no way." But again, it's spat back in her face because things don't always go to plan. I congratulate her though to keeping her faction the way it is because it was working. But if you look at the standings, Finstock Exchange got the most wins with rookies, and their strategy was sound. Their strategy was sound, meaning, hey, if we can beat all the rookies, accumulate our points, and then go to title shots, we have a chance of winning. And that's exactly what's happening. Now, before you know what? We are at 45. So I think it's time for Miss Badass to come on.
Hey, babe.
Hey.
Hey, hello, everyone. How's your lovely Saturday?
I can't speak for fuck's sakes.
Hopefully it's good because I'm here now.
You're making them nervous.
I know. I'm sorry, Frenchie. I have that effect on people.
I'm just worried you'll backlash on me because you lost yesterday's game. So.
Oh, okay. It was close though. It was close.
The trash talk starts already.
If no one knows, yesterday she was on. Well, we were on Movie Lovers Unite. We did a movie game, and again, without no fucking surprise, Aaron won. He's starting to piss me
Just
off.
by a wee bit. Just by a wee bit.
All
Aaron,
right.
that's on this show.
Huh?
Is it Aaron that appears on this show?
Yeah. That Aaron that wins every game I make. He won that game.
It's
too,
rigged.
so.
That's why. It's rigged.
Yeah.
I've learned.
Hey, Aaron, I challenge you to a movie trivia contest.
You heard it here. You heard it here. All right. So again, thank you very much, Boston, to come on. Look, usually we do hot matches to get an order. Today we didn't do it, so this is going to pretty much be a free-for-all question and just discussion with you. I wanted to start with, now the season's over. Your rookie season's over. Your sophomore is going to begin next season. What's the biggest takeaway you've taken on your journey so far?
Honestly, just enjoy every moment. Like I took getting drafted. Like it was a huge honor, a huge accomplishment for myself, and I just worked my butt off this whole time, and I loved every second of it. And it's just to continue to just enjoy all the little moments that you get, whether it be like just hanging out with your factions, studying. And that's like the one big takeaway that I've gained so many friends and family from this opportunity that I just want that to continue to happen. So,
All right.
Well, Frenchie, you took my question, so.
oh, and I'll also say that that washed up question was nonsense. We'll just say that though.
But Paige, I'll say like if did you feel like if you were partnered up with someone other than Drew, do you think you would have had a better shot at winning your match against Danger Zone, or do you feel that maybe you would have just gone the same way?
On my faction, or just in general?
Yeah, you're in the teams tournament. Do you feel like you would have had a better shot with someone else, or do you feel like it would have gone the same way regardless?
Honestly, no. I was partnered up with one of the best teams players of all time. And for me, like when Sam discussed with us like the possibility of it happening, I was shaking. I was like, am I going to be a good partner for like the Godfather? That was like my take. I was like, this man's going to do great no matter what. And he brings so much experience to the table that it just like made me feel like honored the entire time I was there. So no, I wouldn't want it any other way. I was so happy that I got to be partnered up with that guy. And I feel like I learned so much just from the short amount of time that we were teammates that I hope that continues to happen. Fingers crossed. Who knows? But we shall see.
All right. Anyone else has questions?
Yeah. So your downtime that you've had going before next season, how much of a break did you personally take from studying? Like I know you said you're helping your teammates study, but you yourself, did you take like a little bit of a break, or it was like, okay, gotta get ready for next season?
I mean, I've taken I still study my butt off. Right now I'm working with Nikki right now on Star Wars, to try to help her the best I can. I mean, that girl's just a freak of nature when it comes to that galaxy far, far away. So I just try my best to kind of help her out with that. But I mean, it's kind of nice right now. Like I can catch up on like TV shows. Like I was during the season, I was only focused on film. So it's like nice I get a little bit of a break. But no, it's still a couple times a week I'm still studying. Nice. Instead of like every single moment of my life, right now it's just like a couple times a week, and it's nice to just enjoy that little bit of a break. But nope, I'm about to get back on that grind though, because if you want to be a champ, there's no breaks. So.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna do better next year. But that's just me.
Thanks, Ed. I appreciate that, man.
Anytime.
Back to 100%.
Go ahead, Gui.
I wanted to know, because I'm still being very new to the Schmoedown. I don't know whether you guys can talk about things like that, but when it comes to studying, because I imagine it must be massive for you guys because you've got everything under the sun basically when it comes to movies. Do you like pick a week and go, okay, this week I'm going to do black cinema and I'm going to just find as many as I can, and you concentrate, or do you try and like break it up with different categories? Do you have any sort of strategy going into studying?
For me, it kind of is like that. What I do is I try to focus on like definitely like certain directors, like actors and actresses. but that with that also comes genre as well. So it's kind of nice to have like that flair of, if you're focusing on one person, a bunch of different genres are going to come from that. So for me, it's definitely, I say like twice a week I try. I am such a nerd for physical media. So some people probably study Excel, and I have to have physical. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I make flashcards. Like that's the best way for me to study. Like I need something physical in my hand to be able to look through, because even if I'm not studying with someone, I don't have the answer in front of me. I'd have to flip the paper to find it. So it's like nice to have that. And so that's kind of where I go with studying, at least, is just like rapid fire, just going through flashcards, making as many as I can for either different genres, decades, or actors and actresses, kind of in a sense. So.
And now this year you have Ben Bateman. You got him in your pocket. Who's your next year target, if you can even reveal it?
Anyone that wants to face me next season, honestly.
Okay,
I love everyone in the Schmoedown, but when it comes to who you're facing, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, you are my enemy. I don't care who you are or anything. You can be the sweetest person, the baby face of the league. I'm going to tear you apart, is my goal, and that's how it's going to continue to happen.
So that would mean if you were be facing a situation like the Finstock were facing, finals, tournaments, partner versus partner, you would be able to do it.
I'm sorry, not sorry, but yeah. You gotta go with that mentality. I mean, I may be. It's not the size of the dog. It's the bark. What is it? How does the saying go? Something like that. Not the bark. Yeah, it's not the size of the bark. It's some nonsense like that. But I may be small, but I am feisty, and no matter what, I'm going in there, balls swinging, hoping for the best, and just trying to take out anyone that's in my way.
Well, because once you step through those ropes, it is every man for himself. There is no such thing as friendship.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm here to stay. So whoever wants to get in my way, good luck.
There it is. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yes, I literally had a T-shirt of this, like back in the day. I found out like a hockey tournament, so I should have known this.
Nice.
This one happens when I host. Apparently, everyone lose capacity to speak. So sorry about that.
Yeah, this is what you do to me, Frenchie. You just make me like flabbergasted.
English becomes all of our second language.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Hey, boy. All right. So also, I'm just curious. Since now the whole season's ended, is there one particular match, be if yours or not, or just as a fan of Schmoedown, if there's one you put in your favorites list and watch it next time again, what is your favorite match of the season?
Is it cocky to say
it's cocky,
but I don't care, because that is one of my to me, that was just like a milestone moment just for myself, like in a rookie season, because I've been calling that man out since day one, and I'm going to continue to do that until I get a belt.
Well, everyone's got their list of accomplishments, and that's definitely going to be one that's up there for you. Defeated Ben Bateman in the second round of the Ultimate Schmoedown 2021.
Oh, 100%.
That's going to be on the list of your accomplishments.
Yeah. You got to be your number one support. 100%. You got to be in your own corner all the time, so you can absolutely back your own match.
Of course.
Yeah, it's definitely that. I mean, I watch all the matches. All of them are great at the end of the day. But hell yeah, like me being Bateman, I know everyone. Like I did at first, I was saying like, don't call it an upset, like, because you know what? At the end of the day, the only person that was upset was Bateman, and it made me feel great that I got to experience that moment. So, but I mean, also for me too, like Nikki beating Gold Leader, like that was just like, but Nikki is such an intelligent woman, and not that she doubts herself at all, but she's just like, hey, I guess we'll see what happens. Like she knows her stuff, like, and that's like what I love so much about it, because she's just like, let's just hope for the best, but she knows what she's doing no matter what. So ridiculously
humble too. You talk to her about her accomplishments, she's like, oh yeah, you know. Okay. I'm like, how are you so grounded about this?
She's the only consummate team player. It's not about her, it's about the team.
Yeah, and that's what I just like love. Like I love everyone on my faction so much, but like her in like specific of being like so humble and just like, yeah, like it happened. Now it's just time to move on to the next thing, I guess. Like
she's just happy to be.
Yeah, she's just happy to be here, and I think that's a big thing that I've taken away this season from everyone on my faction is just I'm just happy to be here. Like the fact that I get an opportunity just to play a match or to come on and hang on these after shows with all you lovely people. Like it's nice to have that. Like.
And also, I'm curious. Next season, we all know it's going to be very different. It's not going to be a very sports ranking type of thing. And we know you are an extremely competitive person. So now we know it's not going to be less going to be a sports format. Is that going to change a bit of your way you approach or the way you go in your competitive mindset?
Oh, not one bit. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, it's me against the questions, and I am taking out any competitor that gets in my way. So I don't care who I'm facing. I'm still gonna try to be as confident and as smooth as possible with getting to that journey of the belt because that's the goal, no matter what. So, and
And
guess what?
also,
Now you guys all get to see me in person, and I guess see how short I really am. But other than that, like,
I'm making it my goal to be at Spectacular next year. So
yeah,
Yeah.
same here. I
Same here.
definitely have to be here.
Yeah.
But one question I do have for you, Paige, if you had to travel to any city for a live event, whether
Not
you're
Boston.
headlining it or just appearing it, which city would you go to?
ooh,
And you can't
Well, I've
say
already-
Boston.
yeah. Well, I mean, it would be an honor, but I'm already here, so like I don't get to travel to it. So I guess that's not like. For me, I guess like I think Chicago would be so cool. Like I've never been to Chicago.
There you go.
Like
be
Nashville, I
easy.
think would be awesome. I like if we ever did an international one, like that would just be like amazing. Like either like I've been to Toronto before, but to either go like Toronto or like London or something, like what? I mean, I've been to Australia, so if they could afford to take a bunch of us to Australia, I'd be.
Jess,
I'd
I'd
be
be
there.
your time going.
I would be so there. If it comes to New Zealand. If you guys want to do it in New Zealand, we'll totally host it. but-
I would totally be there. I've never been there, and I would love to go. So,
Group trip to Hobbiton.
yep, let's do it, guys.
Everyone can stay in my house. It'll be fine.
Perfect. So I have a
Hobbiton
place to
is in
stay
the
at least,
Yeah,
so it all works
absolutely.
out.
Anyone that's like, I want to come to New Zealand, I'm like, you can come stay at my house. I'm like, I've got to stop saying that because eventually I'm going to reach a quota where I won't have enough rooms. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
what,
soon
and
you're
this
gonna
is
have
what I
Oh,
told
like
Jacob and
tents.
Taylor too. I'm just
Yeah.
like, guys, just adopt me so I can get like my. Do they have green cards in Australia? I don't know how that works,
No,
but just let me just be a citizen there, guys. But like,
And this wouldn't be me hosting if I didn't mention it. Props I'm wearing the Boston Bruins, even if one makes me want to like barf a bit. Props for wearing a hockey jersey during a match.
Mhm.
oh, of course, I had to represent. That was like to me every match is my next big match, no matter who I'm facing or anything like that. Especially when it came to like the tournament status, that I was like, well, I'm in the quarterfinals right now. I was like, I gotta represent my Boston because you know what, I'm facing New York, and at the end of the day, Boston's always better than New York. Even though
And again,
Griffin, I won't say he got lucky because the cards just fell his way in that match, and unfortunately, they just didn't fall mine. But next season, I'm sorry, Griffin, but 2.0, come to my turf, and we'll make it happen. So,
Oh yeah.
all
I think
right.
that would be a fun city rivalry. New York, Boston, Griffey Nooms versus Page.
right? What I wanted them to do since this season was like everyone's from all over the place. Like, imagine if they did in the tournament, like East Coast versus West Coast.
Oh,
That would have been
that
insane
would've
to like
been
experience
so
that.
because there's enough people on both sides of the country that you could
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
That was-
right. I think that would have been so fun. Hey, maybe next season we can get that too, though. So
Yeah,
who knows?
Eastern
Like,
Conference, Western Conference, baby. Woo, old school.
Yeah, I'm completely down for it. I still think East Coast is gonna win because we're awesome. So,
Yes, you do.
Soda.
and New Zealand can be on East Coast. Well, not.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know how it works. 'cause
Close,
when I
we're
flew
close to
Australia,
it.
I just
Hold
fly
on,
to
hold on.
LA
And
and then
I
go all the
literally-
way around.
Am I
I don't know,
literally
but you're East
on a
Coast.
time
All right.
zone to myself right now?
So look, we'll have Paige continue on if ever she wants to, but we have a special guest in the background, Mr. Barbarian. How you doing, sir?
Hello.
I'm doing all right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me on. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. I gotta. Sometimes I have problems with my audio setups. Yeah, I'm actually out here in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. I was a guest last night at Brad Gilmore's Reality of Wrestling show, so I thought I would
Oh, right on.
rep the shirt. It was the first time doing a show out of Texas, and it was fantastic. If you're a fan of WWE or WCW from back in the day. They, there were a ton of recognizable faces that came out for this event. Of course, Booker T, and Brad Gilmore on the mic. We had an appearance by Disco Inferno was the host of the
I
evening.
heard about that. Yeah.
Really?
Luke Gallows was there
Oh.
to promote the apparently TNA's having an event tonight out here in Las Vegas as well. So Luke Gallows showed up, and security tried to escort him out, but he fought off 4 security guards. The Boogeyman showed up. The Boogeyman was coming to get someone. Oh yeah, it was fantastic. He's
I love that.
Yeah, I got a nice video of his entrance, and yeah, I feel like I'm forgetting someone, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. And then I've kind of fell off, but for a while I was a secret Bachelor franchise fan, and one of their contestants from Rachel Lindsay's season was a professional wrestler based in Las Vegas, Kenny King, who
I've
had
heard
an
of Kenny King.
yeah, Kenny King. Yeah, Kenny King, Bachelor alumnus, and then awesome wrestler. Saw him in a match last night. It was fantastic, all around great show. Thank you to Brad for having me there, and yeah, love repping this shirt.
Before we start, I would like to formally apologize to you on air for doubting your dossier at the beginning of the year. I feel like a schmuck for doubting you. I really do.
Oh, it's okay. Everyone did. They didn't know what they were talking about. The notion of we don't know who any of these players are, thus they must be bad was kind of silly.
That is very true. With us rookie season, I don't feel like anyone knew what to expect for anyone. So, I mean, I guess I give you guys a little bit of props for what you did. So
again, I'll be a broken record, but I believe you guys from the beginning. There's something genius about what he did. I like again, was it a risk? Fuck yeah. It was a hell of a risk. This is like a career-ending risk because it's so out of the box.
It was the opposite side of the dungeon last year. You took that and made it a success.
Exactly, but it definitely made sense to me, and I know a couple people made sense too. But it was a hard battle to all season long, going into arguments with people, trying to convince them that you're not crazy as a supporter was an interesting experience. I can only imagine the person who actually did it, or one of the people who actually created the dossier. Now, going into the success, there's more chances Finstock Exchange wins the faction wars than loses it. Could you tell me a bit about this experience of like the chance, like this is going to be accomplished more likely than not?
Yeah, I mean, all season long, we just had that focus and that goal of doesn't matter who's in the lead right now, we're going to win at the end of the year, and we knew that the tournament matches would be worth a lot more than the regular matches. Regular season matches were worth 2 points. Tournament matches were worth 3 points. So we weren't really bothered when we were in 5th place like a month and a half ago because we trusted that we would, win our way through these tournaments. Our goal was to have all 4 of us in the final 4 of the tournament. Didn't work out quite like that, but having 2 in the final 4 was, I think, a very strong accomplishment. And it's funny because a lot of people think it's like, oh, I've heard people say things like, oh, they knew that they would get rookie on rookie matches. That was not it. Like we knew that the first round of matches would be rookie v rookie, and it wasn't even actually the case. Griffin faced Mark Edward Hoyk in his first match, who used to be the movie geek on Beat the Geeks. Like he at one point was considered the greatest movie trivia player in the world, and that's who Griffin had to face in his first match. So it was a group of people that we knew would work together, and we knew what we were looking for in the dossier wasn't just how good of a trivia player are you today, this day when I'm meeting you. It is how good of a trivia player do we think you will be if we draft you, because the people that we draft, we were looking for people that were willing to put in the work, willing to be coached up, willing to help coach up others, and willing to embrace everything that we had planned for the season. And that's what we did.
And I am curious, before we start talking about your matches, there's one thing in the post interview when, if I'm not mistaken and heard correctly, did Nooms actually, during his interview in the draft, actually ask you guys trivia questions for real?
Yeah, no, well, so he, when I was
Very
talking to him, we were talking about his podcast, and he was telling me that he, quizzes his, he often will like ask trivia questions to his host on the podcast. And I said, okay, well, I'd love to hear some of the questions that you ask. And he was pulling out, just a bunch of deep cut Wayne's World questions, and I was just, some of them weren't the type of things that they would ask about into the Schmoedown. They were like behind the scenes things, like not even like cast producers, like, oh, who was going to be in this role, or like why did this happen, and yada yada. But a lot of it was just deep cut quotes, deep cut information. So it's like it showed me the kind of minutia that this guy pays attention to and retains. And I as I said that, it's like this. I in the dossier it said it's like this guy could be the next Dan Merle. He's he has the personality, he has the love of movies and the love of movie and the love of trivia and the love of movie trivia. If he gets the bug, if he gets hooked on the game, he will be the best player in the game, and that's what has happened.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's, unless someone else has a Finstock Exchange general question, I say we move on to Barbarian versus Janine. Let's go into it. Barbarian versus Janine. Obviously, Janine is now considered a veteran, someone who's very seasoned. I know you did not take her lightly. I'm sorry?
Oh, I said it's her fourth year in the league. Yeah.
Exactly. And she definitely integrated herself as one of the most beloved characters and players. So I know you didn't take her lightly. But how were you really feeling in the match, like level confidence wise? Did you really know that you were going to win, or this was really going to be a toss up?
I mean, here's what here's what I'll say. I feel like my breadth of knowledge is larger than hers, but I also know that she puts in a lot of work, takes in the game very seriously, has categories that she is better than me at, and like I would be an idiot if I saw her TKO Mike Kalinowski and beat Dan Merle and think, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk. It's she like I took her very seriously, and I knew there was a chance I could lose, and yeah, the unfortunately, to speak a little bit about the game itself, and pull back the curtain a little bit. So the scheduling of this tournament was fairly grueling, in large part because the majority of it took place on weekdays, and most of us, Janine and myself both included, work full-time jobs. We have work out of this, so it was very difficult to try to schedule this around our actual real life commitments, especially the deeper you go into the tournament and you've already like taken time off from work to make these match appearances. It's like this point this was 4 matches in, so this is the 4th time I'm taking time off of work in a couple months span to try to do this, and of course it's also on short notice because so this specific match took place, and I can't speak entirely for Janine, but I suspect it was similar for her as it was for me. That I had a bit of mental fatigue that was actually largely due to just my work schedule and my work day. Because like this was done on a day when I couldn't, I had a lot of work commitments that day and I couldn't take the day off. And I tried to position myself to place where I would be in a good shape for the match. But I identified fairly quickly on in the match that that my brain was, for lack of a better term, fried when I got that, I got my wires crossed with that 28 weeks over 28 days miss. Like that's a movie that I've seen that I saw in theaters. That's a movie that I for years have joked that the film 28 Days Later is a sequel to 28 Days that shows what happens when you don't drink alcohol for 28 days. You become a great zombie.
I mean, if you want to be technical, in LA though, like rehab is usually like 28 weeks long, right? Like that's how it works out there.
No.
Like they don't just go to rehab for 28 days. It's way longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was way longer than that, I think it's probably closer to 3 months. I don't know, but even then, it's like it's it's a film. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the actor Steve Buscemi, and it was a film that I saw in theaters because of that.
Steve Buscemi the best.
Yeah, he is the greatest, and so when that happened, you can see me have a little bit of a you can hear me curse a little bit, and I realized in that moment that my brain was not working at optimal capacity, and that I equated afterwards to it was like a pitcher in baseball. I don't know how many of y'all are baseball fans, but it's like a starting pitcher in those long, grueling seasons who realizes early in the game that he doesn't have his best stuff and just tries to gut out 5 solid innings to get the win. And that's really what that match became for me, was just trying to gut out 3 solid rounds to get the win. And I'm assuming, like I said, Janine had a very rough first round, and I'm assuming that a lot of that was probably due to similar fatigue. Like she knew the answer to the one question was Leslie Mann. She just couldn't pull Leslie Mann's name in the moment, and it's just like, the brain is, very much, it's like both a computer and a muscle, and your muscles can get fatigued and so can your brain. And that's just, but
I feel you, like Barbarian, with that too. Like obviously, like, you went two rounds further than I did in the tournament, but yeah, like I totally understand. Like especially like a lot of people, you guys don't see it like behind the scenes though, but like during these tournaments, like matches, like one majority of us, like I work a full-time job too. Like we're getting these matches like booked. You have like 72 hours to plan ahead. You literally you don't have time at all. Like they're just like, all right, just you guys know this is when we can do it, and if you can't do it, then we're gonna have issues. So it's like pretty much just like trying your best to accommodate everyone and everything, and it can be hard sometimes, definitely, like during tournament season, because you only have like the short amount of time, because obviously we have a time limit where we need to get everything done by. So I feel like a lot of people should definitely consider that with behind like fans and stuff, like moving forward, like when we play and stuff, like we have to deal with that. But like I have a question for you though with that though, Craig, because like obviously like the further you get into the tournament, like the more like grueling it can be and stuff. And for example, like you and Janine are both IG players. You guys both play in 2 different divisions. Like how is that, like did that factor in at all, like going into this match? Were you just like, I need to watch her IG matches as well, or just focus on her singles run this season or her past seasons?
No, I wasn't too concerned with her IG past, other than to know that it shouldn't be something that I consider putting on the wheel. In part because Janine and I spoke at the beginning of the season, and I knew that she wasn't going to be playing IG at all this year. So I knew that she hadn't been I assumed she hadn't been studying IG, and I had studied it more recently than her. So if she had decided to put any of it on the wheel, I wasn't concerned that I couldn't, brush up on it fast enough to be. To negate that. But no, I mean, I definitely respect not only, I definitely respected her IG knowledge enough to not to not want to put a IG slice on the wheel. I mean, and by the way, looking back at her IG, tournament match last year, she lost on an incredibly difficult 5-pointer, which was, they asked her what superhero has the name, what DC superhero has the name Chris Weiss. It's like, that actually isn't canon to the DCEU. That's never said
Yeah.
in the film.
Yeah.
It's never like we actually don't know if that character's name is Chris Weiss in that version of the world. You know, it's like just because Halle Berry was Catwoman doesn't mean that she was Selena Kyle. She in fact was not Selena Kyle. You know, so at any rate, but my point is that Janine could have maybe had a better IG tournament run last year if she'd gotten a more reasonable 5-pointer. Who knows? So I definitely respect her in that regard.
So,
And
yeah, so Craig, I want to ask you, like, considering that we're talking about like IG and going over different divisions, you were in multiple divisions last season, but in this season you primarily focused on singles. Did that help you progress further in the tournament, or is it just because you just had a bad season last season?
Yes, I think you can easily do it.
I mean, what? I'm curious. You said have a bad season. What was so bad about my season last season?
Well, it wasn't as good as this season because it seems like you were hyped up to be like a real dominating force, and IG went 3 rounds, but I'm in my own grave.
Yeah, I mean, like my IG last year. I joined the league last year, and when I joined the league, I told Gucci I can compete at the top level in singles today. I'd like to play IG eventually, but I'd need to study a lot. And then when the pandemic hit, the Schmoedown said, "What do we do? Let's have an IG tournament." And our faction had, you know, there was two people per faction. Our faction only had one IG player on it, so I had initially said, you know, I'll help people study, but you know, I'll bow out and let someone else do it. And then Gucci approached me and said, "Look, we need you. We need you to do this." So I stepped up. I had 3 weeks to study IG before my first match, and which by the way, a lot of things people, you know, I don't know. To talk at a personal level, you know, I lost my wife in the end of April last year. It was the day after her funeral that I began studying for Inner Geekdom, and had 3 weeks between, 3 weeks to prep for my first Inner Geekdom match after that. And and also, I mean, I guess one thing I would say that's different between last year and this year, it's like grief takes a terrible toll on the brain, and especially the memory. A lot of people, in fact, some people in the Schmoedown community who have also experienced grief I've spoken to, and they, have mentioned that they're actually shocked at how, much I was able to, how seemingly unaffected my memory was by this. And it was, not entirely unaffected. And it wasn't until about midway through this season when I felt like my brain was actually, responding to normal levels that it had been prior to everything. So, and that was that was something that I'd discovered while it was just through a lot of practice and whatnot. But eventually, once I started feeling the recall coming back, I got very excited and very I knew that I could put in the work to win the tournament, and I almost did.
Yeah,
but
it's quotes. It's not about how hard you can hit; it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
And that's why I gotta point out though, like Barbie, I obviously I know you a little bit more on a personal level because we hung out when I was in LA and stuff, and that's why I have to give you so much props and stuff too, because for me going through grief and something tragic like that happening to you, and for you to be able to kind of have the Schmoedown as your saving grace, I kind of reflect that on 2020 was a horrible year for everyone, just pandemic wise at least, and at least my mental health was not where I wanted it to be at all. But to have the Schmoedown and the community and stuff, it really is a saving grace. For,
I'm not gonna lie.
I think a lot for us competitors at least. So.
I had a nervous breakdown and was off work for 2 months earlier this year, so I understand that very well.
Yeah, me too. Because I literally flipped out on my stepdad and my mom at a party. Just flipped out on them out of no reason. So
We exactly the entire planet was under an insane amount of stress this past year. It's and I will say as a Schmoedown competitor, one of the nice things was having something like the Schmoedown, being able to watch a movie and say to myself, I'm being productive.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
It was a nice outlet that was also almost like a safety blanket at times. So
Yeah.
Perfect.
but
So
again, when you talk about my season last year, I would also point out my only loss in singles last year was to William Bibiani in the second round of the tournament, where I missed one question and he went perfect. So it's not like
As
I
always.
performed poorly. That performance would have beat 99% of would have won
Yeah.
99% of matches. It just happened to be against the first ever completely perfect game that had ever been completed in singles.
Hey Dan, do you need a ladder to get you out of that hole?
I'll just keep my
I
mouth
thought you
shut.
I thought you were the number guy, Dan.
I am the numbers guy, but I literally, I'm just gonna move on. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
and he's supposed to be the polite, nice one. Me and Jay Wade are supposed to be assholes half the time, but hey, it's okay. Look,
No, Frenchie, you're
talking
Canadian. You're polite because you're Canadian.
I'm sorry. All right, so moving on to something that's a bit more heart wrenching, but at the same time probably very proud. Barbarian versus Newman, or Newms, as we should call him. It must have, again, what we saw in the match, be hurting the heart, but almost seemed like your child growing up and almost overpassing you in a sense. Your brainchild of the faction itself, and also the result of all your work, has come down to this and possibly winning the faction. So could you talk about that match a bit before we start asking questions?
Yeah, that match was one that I was excited for, and it. If you see me at the end of the Janine match, I feel like I had it like a lot of weight was lifted off my shoulders after that match because I came into this season with the mindset of my number one focus is going to be winning the faction championship. And so in this tournament, any match that I played in this tournament, the Finstock Exchange won points. And so I knew that if I beat Janine, that we would be guaranteed 4 points in the next match, whether or not I won, and that the winner would face Marisol. Now, I did want to win the match, clearly. I did
Yeah.
want to headline Spectacular. And honestly, I think that Griffin and I are fairly even players, but Griffin has a teams match that he's prepping for at the beginning of the show. So I thought that I would be our better chance to beat Marisol because of, him having to pull double duty. But I'm not worried about him having that burden because he is the type of player that can handle that with the greatest of ease. In days where in match days more so than most people, he actually I don't want to give too much of his prep away, but the prep that he does for one match should suffice him to get to do both matches. I don't think that there's any
Oh wow.
I don't think that there's any real concern there of him faltering. But at the same time, in my selfish mind, I was like, it should be me.
Of course.
I should do this. Also, I wanted a match at Spectacular. That's let's be real. That's what we play for. You play to play in the Super Bowl. You play to play in WrestleMania. You want to.
Right.
I gotta ask you though, like, I mean, they asked me earlier, like, when I was on, like, how was it like playing against like your own like faction mate? I just wanted you to take him out because he took me out, so I was just being very bitter. So I was like, this man has to go now. So someone do it. I don't even care if it's Craig or whoever. Someone's got to take him out. But like, how is that like preparing for like? Because like obviously you kind of know their strengths and their weaknesses, and like, and also like they're your faction mate. Like obviously like you guys are like your team, like your faction mate. So how does that like play into all of this kind of?
Well, I mean, honestly, and I'll say this one thing I said because I know the public perception had been that movie release dates was a weakness of Griffin's. Although I'll point out that he basically won these last two questions on getting a movie release date question correct that his opponent got wrong because I got that frailty question wrong, and he got it right, which I'm still kicking myself for because in my brain, 2 different years popped up, and for some reason, instead of saying pass as I probably should have if I wasn't sure what the answer was, I said the wrong year. And as soon as I said, I was like, no, that's too late. It's 2001. But at any rate, but my point is the reason I was getting on that tangent was as soon as the tournament schedule was looking more and more likely that it would be me versus him. Um, I announced in the chat. I said, look, if it's me versus you, I'm not going to put movie release dates on the wheel. And I did that to help ease
That's
his
nice of
mind
you.
so he could. Yeah, well, I said that to help ease his mind so that he could, going in against Viviani, not have to worry about it. And, I will say it was on the wheel, but I didn't put it there. I didn't put it there.
Okay.
As soon as we got the wheel,
He actually
I
put
said,
it
I
on
was
there to
like,
trick everyone.
I know. I was like, as soon as on the wheel, I sent it out to the group and I just said, "Here's the wheel. I swear I didn't put movie release dates on it. I swear it wasn't me."
Yeah, wink, wink, right?
um, uh, but yeah, it was a little different though because normally we have a united faction front prepping for these matches. Like normally I'm helping him prep for his match. This is the first match all season that I didn't help prep him for.
I guess so.
And I was hit. Yeah. And it was it's weird. It's I almost felt bad because I mean I'm in more of a leadership role in the faction, so I feel like a lot more of the faction people would like root for me over him. I mean, I'm not saying that I know that for a fact, but it was like I didn't want that. I didn't want this to cause a divide in the faction. I didn't want there to
Yeah.
be, hey, we want Craig to beat Griffin. I didn't
Yeah.
want anyone to pull favorites. So that was a little bit of behind the scenes anxiety leading into the match.
See, I would have liked it as a storyline, like you guys tearing the faction apart, and then Finstock just falls
we
down
did
the ladder.
That was our
Because they don't win
story
the
last
faction race.
year. That was our story last year. This year it's about redemption and building a team that does not tear itself apart. And we culminated the season in showing that we could have a match of our 2 top singles players and not have it tear us apart.
Yeah.
Now,
To contrast, last year we opened the season with our 2 top singles players facing each other, and it tore the faction apart.
We got 2 minutes before we hand out to sexy numbers. We do have a question by Everest Leach on the Facebook group. So if Griffin Newman wins a single tournament and capitalizes on both title matches at Spectacular, is that the greatest Schmoedown season ever in your opinion, Barbarian?
100%. Has anyone else gone 12-0 in a season and won 2 tournaments and won 2 titles? No.
Yep.
I don't care how many individual title defenses someone has in a season. 12-0 across 2 divisions as a rookie who's never played this game before. Like he is having the greatest. Like first off, he's already broken the record of longest winning streak across multiple divisions. He's already broken that record.
Really?
So by like 2.
Oh shit, you're right.
Like,
damn.
Yeah, he is 10-0 across 2 divisions. The previous streak was 8. He's at 10. He is already he's already on the greatest winning streak ever in the Schmoedown. And like he may have already had I feel like he needs to get at least 1 belt for this to be the greatest season ever. But in my opinion, like he's already player of the year. He's already rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Look, sure there are other undefeated rookies, the Rager Rick Radis, Nikki DeMolanta, Thomas Harper, but none of them have done it. Have had to have done it with Griffin. And I will also say behind the scenes stuff. I'm not going to say anything personal. Like he had to deal with a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Again, all private. I'm not going to say, but it's just he's had a ton of personal and professional struggles this year that have that I would say would be significant stressors for anyone.
Oh wow.
All right, so thank you very much, Barbarian and Boston Badass, for showing up and giving a bit of your time. Always appreciate hanging out with you guys.
Always.
All right, till
Thank
next
you
time.
guys.
Nice to meet you.
All right now, like you saw on the little ticker on the bottom, it's time for sexy numbers. See you later.
All right, Soda, you're going to be joining me today.
Yay.
So the first question I have for you is: have you ever had a perfect, wrong thing, a perfect bracket in the tournament season?
So I'm gonna give you a sad answer, no, because I've never done a bracket.
Well, okay. Let me rephrase my question. If you had done a bracket, which bracket would you most likely have been perfect at? An eight person bracket, a 16 person bracket, or a 32 person bracket?
Oh, probably the I probably would have it better in the 8-person bracket.
And you're right. Here's the reason why. All right. So here's how the basic equation for how the odds are. So it's 1 over c to the m power. So c represents the number of competitors in a match. So in this instance, it's 2. If it's a triple threat, it's 3, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
The number of matches. Now we're talking about tournaments. That can be like for 8, it's usually 7. For 16, it's usually 15, and it's usually -1 how many people are in it, usually. So obviously we're going to start at 100% because if with no persons, because 100% equals 1 person. But as you can see, now this is I'm getting all confused. This is what happens when Frenchie's on board. I get confused. So this is how, if you had 8 rookies in the tournament, sorry, Frenchie, if you had 8 rookies in the tournament where we had no information, the odds of you getting a perfect bracket based on that information is less than 1%.
I've noticed that as it goes down, it drops by almost half.
Yeah, because that's no coincidence. Because you start out with 1 match, you have a 50% chance of getting the person right. With 4 matches or 2 matches, it's a quarter of 25%, and it just keeps going half all the way down. So 16 people, it's literally half of like all the way down, and then keeps going.
Yeah.
But usually, if it's a mixture between number of like competitors that we know, like Dan Merle or Craig or Paige, or just a mixture of all those people, it's usually between 25 and 13% because we do have data based on that. And for reference, here's my brackets for the most recent teams tournament.
Okay.
I predicted that Danger Zone would win against Untouchables. I'm just keep burying myself with
Don't think Paige isn't here anymore.
Yeah. But I predicted Danger Zone was going to win, and that was right.
See, I would have lost right there because I had Untouchables.
Okay. So I predicted that Press Room would win against Olgard.
Yeah.
I was right. Deception. I predicted they would win over Chaos Theory. I was right. And I went with the upset because I said King Arthur was going to win against Final Exam. And I was right. But here's where I was wrong. Yeah. In the second round, I said Danger Zone was going to win. That clearly didn't happen. I said Deception was going to win in round 2. That didn't happen. And obviously, everything just fell apart after that. But basically, you can usually eliminate half of the people, half of the teams or people in an 8-person tournament. But if it's 16, it's a lot harder. So we're going to focus on 8 people because I think that's the easiest to do.
Yeah.
So what do you think the probability of each seed is winning in a match? Now, there's 8 seeds. Which ones do you think have the most probability of winning round 1?
I want to say, sorry, could you reword that again?
Okay, so there's 8 seeds in the tournament, in the brackets. So 1 is the highest, 8 is the lowest, and it just goes from there. It's rearranged based on. So if we're going back to here, Danger Zone's 1, Deception's 2, and it just keeps following that pattern. So which seeds do you think has the highest probability of winning round 1? That's my question.
I would probably say the top seeds usually.
All right. So, and you are correct. 1 through 4 has the highest, the lowest being the number one seed, where it has 71%. Seed 2 has 68% of the time they win. 3 and 4 are the exact same thing, and obviously 3, 6, and 7 are all 14%. 8 seed has won one time.
I'm looking at this. It's like it's the same type of idea across all sports because again going to go to hockey. Like I can only think of one team since I started watching 30 years ago. Oh,
and that's the basic idea is you can actually apply this to other sports as well.
Like to my knowledge, as far as I can remember, only one team has won the Stanley Cup by being the 8th seed going into the playoffs, and that was the LA Kings in 2011. Sorry, 2012. It doesn't happen often. It's usually the top seeds.
Yeah. So moving on, let's. So what out of these 4, 1 through 4, which ones do you think have the highest chance of winning round 2?
1 through 4.
1 through 4.
Probably the 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Well, 3 is actually the highest, but oddly enough, 2 is actually the low. It was one of the lowest and the top ones. So and 4 is actually pretty high as well. So if I'm making my bracket and I know this information, I also want to know the information that I've learned for who is in that seed, because that's going to determine whether it's an upset or not. So, but usually over the past history, it's usually the 3rd and 4th seed that actually go on to the final round. Now, for the final round, which one of these 2 do you think is going to win the finals or in round 3?
I'm going to go 4.
Well, you should pick 3 because 3.
I always should go with my gut. I was thinking 3.
But interestingly enough, it's not that high. I mean, if you look at the number 2 seed, it's only 28% of the time, and this is out of 7 tournaments. So that's only happened twice. The 3rd seed has happened twice. Oddly enough, the 6th seed, that's all King Khan. Or King Arthur. I'm sorry, I keep screwing that up.
Thank you, Dagan. Blues were also number 8 seed as well. Really, King Khan that's all King Khan.
That's all King Khan right there. So 5th seed has never won a 8-person tournament. This is all 8-person tournament.
Yeah.
If it's 16 or 32, it could be different. But 7th seed never won. 8th, they've gotten to the finals, but they never won the finals. So if I'm forming my brackets, I'm looking at this information. I'm choosing maybe 2 or 3 or 4, but I'm also keeping an eye on who is in that seed and what they've done in other divisions. Because if they are really good, like King Khan was, then yeah, they're probably going to win that tournament and prove the data wrong. So what do you think? Do you think you're going to have a perfect bracket next season?
Maybe, because now I'm looking at these numbers and I'm sitting here thinking about sports history. It's like, it always does seem to be that 2 through 4 seed that is usually the one that wins the tournament. So, I mean, seeing the numbers in front of me, I'm not surprised. So if I ever do make a bracket, yes, I will definitely be using this.
But when I was actually doing this graph, I actually did do the 16 and the 32, and it is a lot different. You do have like maybe 5 or 4 or 8. So it's a lot much more clear, but 8 is actually the best bet to actually have a perfect bracket. Because interestingly enough, in the teams tournament earlier in the season, I was perfect. I called every single match on Tim Sims' channel, and it's like, I think Danger Zone's going to go through the finals. I think Founding Fathers is Rushmore is going to the finals, and I think Danger Zone's going to win. And sure enough, I called every single outcome. So that's just so you know, if you want to fill out your brackets, look at this information and also look at their who is in there and see what their past history is, because that is how you're going to win your bracket. And that will be it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for those beautiful numbers. I'm surprised. I would have thought the lower seeds would have still had a bit more shots, but hey, that's the optimistic underdog loving in me, I guess. All right. So on to Guess That Schmoedown. Oh yeah, no. Before we do have an announcement, I forgot completely. Go ahead, Mr. J. Wade.
First of all, I'm not feeling too well today, so thank you, Frenchie, for filling in. And this is a whole new experience being producer. It's power hungry. I like it.
It is, isn't it?
Yes.
And you must understand sometimes my frustration, like, move on, people.
I had said there'd be an announcement last night. I was planning on doing a live stream last night, but I really try hard not to cross over with other networks and stuff. And then I also was like, well, next week we aren't doing Speaking of Schmoedown due to the holiday. So I did a pre-recorded show last night. Kiwi here helped me out a little bit.
You
We
did?
got a den party, everybody, and I'm going to be dropping this coming Friday. We had Kate stopped in, Thomas Harper, Peggy Gubbins, Salty Solington,
Yeah.
Paul Preston was here. We played a couple little games, had some fun. Rachel Silvestrini stopped in too. It was an overall good time, and we did talk a little bit about Schmoedown, but I would say the vast majority of it has nothing to do with Schmoedown. It was just I wanted to give everyone something fun to relax with. There's no matches this week; it's a holiday, so something where we're not talking about business. We're just having fun,
Mm.
and it's about 2.5 hours of fun. So it went a lot longer than thought, but that will be
I
this
had
coming
such a
Friday
good
night.
time.
So I just wanted to say that. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right. So, but I thought you were going to play with us, Jay Wade. You don't have to. You don't have to necessarily speak. No, not even at that
Oh.
point. Okay.
My odds of winning are even higher now. That's good.
Okay.
My odds of looking like an idiot is even higher. All right. So
No
let me
comment.
get on the card on my phone. Give me a second.
Okay, so the way this works is the rules are pretty much the same as that classic Guess Who board game most of us have played as a child. We've got 2 cards of factions, each with names matching to the players. Basically, the contestants will be asking me questions. Is it a man or a woman? Do they wear glasses? Do they have long hair? Do they have short hair? That type of thing. And then they will, when they have a guest, I will obviously tell them if they're right or wrong. If they are wrong, they will be booted from the screen till the end of the end of the round. All right. So you've all played before, so I'm assuming everybody's ready.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Okay, go.
All right. Does this person have any facial hair whatsoever?
Yes.
Is this person Caucasian?
Yes.
Are they posing?
I'd say no.
Yeah.
Dan?
I know. I'm kind of stuck on a couple. Does this person wear glasses?
Yes.
Is this person Yodi Riley?
Nope.
Damn it.
Bye.
Is it Zipper?
No.
Dang it.
It's Alonzo Duralde, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I knew it. I knew it.
All right, Lou, come back.
I'm still not sure if I'm the one pressing the buttons or not. So, all right, let's
Okay, go.
change the order here.
Yeah.
All right. Is this person wearing a hat?
No.
Is this person smiling?
Yes.
No glasses.
Is this person a female?
Yes.
Is this person Laura Kelly?
Yes. I did that as a callback to myself and Jay Wade last year
That
on
was going to be my excuse.
Afterlife, arguing about who would win a mud wrestling match for her honor. Yeah, I got a little weird.
Oh, that's just normal, though, isn't it, on
Yeah.
the Jay Wade show?
Yeah. To think that was like the tamest Jay Wade story I have.
We went to nipple clamps and ball gags. So yeah,
That's why I said like that was my tamest story, surprisingly.
And I'm the one that's digging a grave.
Yeah.
And if you haven't watched the tackle stand beforehand, just wait till you see when he's in the middle and what we talk about. All right.
Things
Okay.
get good.
Jess, start her off.
Is it a male?
No.
Ooh, there we go.
Okay.
Looking at these cards, it's such a sausage fest in Schmoedown, isn't it?
I know, so it's like limiting only like maybe 5 people.
And so I was like, if I ask if it's a male, and it is a male, it's
Yeah.
going to be really hard. But
Yeah. Okay. Does this competitor clearly have does this person have red lipstick on?
Damn it, you stole mine.
Hold on, I gotta zoom in.
Okay, so it's not the 2 people that I'm thinking of.
I'm also
Yeah.
not wearing my glasses. Yeah, I'd say so.
Is this person Lacey Gillerin?
Nope.
Okay.
the I'd say so thing is what's confusing me.
Sorry,
Like,
it's just because it's not highly pixelated and I'm not wearing my glasses, so it does look like they're wearing. I'm gonna go say yes. I'm gonna say yes then to that one question.
So
is
my
it
question.
Jess?
Sorry. Actually,
Jess?
it is Jess Sloth. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was like, I think he's getting hung up on the fact that it's not clearly red, but she does look like she's wearing lipstick of some description. So
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
All right. Let me do one since we're only 3 people.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Now, wait. Double D, look at your screen, my friend.
okay. Oh, I didn't
All
say
right.
anything.
So, yep, go.
Okay. Is said person wearing a hat?
Nope.
do they have facial hair?
Yeah.
Does this person have glasses on?
Nope.
Does this person have a long or a short beard?
A short beard.
Okay.
Are they smiling?
Yes.
Is it Chandru?
Yes.
I was thinking that.
I was
like,
trying
go
to
for
narrow it down.
Yeah, I was thinking Chandru, and it's just I needed that one more round though to be sure.
Yeah, I just needed that one clarification on it.
All right, I got another one. And let me
Cool.
just reorder. All right, Jess.
Are they just wearing a shirt?
No.
Nope.
Does this person have
Oh,
glasses?
whoa.
Sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And these guys bitch at me like, oh, you skipped your question. You see how hard it is?
Does this person is this person posing? They're posing.
I never understood that question. What do you mean by posing?
Like, is it like a,
This
like
is a pose. This is not a pose.
like?
Yeah, see,
Like
Jay
the
knows what. Yeah.
Okay, is it? What is it? Okay, is it like?
All right.
is the
Okay. So
person,
no.
like-
No.
No
No.
pose.
Okay.
Okay. Does this person have glasses?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Are they smiling?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Okay, it's not him. I know that.
Someday this year, Double D.
I know. I'm thinking. Is it Paul Yama?
Nope.
It's gonna be. Oop.
Is it Lon Harris?
Nope.
Does that mean I just automatically win?
You automatically win, but guess anyways if you want to.
Oh. Okay. I'm just running through all the things that we did in the. Is it Jada?
No, it goes against your 2-piece thing. It was actually Soul.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, Before
I
we
see
con-
that now.
before we
kinda
continue
didn't.
Right.
on the game, there's one thing we completely forgot to talk about, and that's storyline wise. So I say we just take 2 little minutes and then we go back to the game. Chandru got kicked out of swag. What the fuck? I kind of saw it coming because Chandru, I love him. I'll be cheering for him if ever I see him at a live event. But he's a snake.
Yeah, for
His
sure.
character is definitely a snake.
He's a heel.
So, what are your guys' thoughts, and where is he going next year?
I'm glad for Winston. I mean, he cleaned house, and I'm glad for him. I was cheering him all the way. Yeah, I mean, it just also confirms that we're not going to get a triple threat in any sort of capacity because they're saving that for next season. So that kind of answers debunks my theory of there being a triple threat. And as to where he's going to go, I'm going to go with corruption. It probably fit better there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree so too. If they don't start their own faction next year, that's another possibility.
And the thing is, let's say he goes with corruption. I really think corruption is gonna have a shakeup. Chance or KO or someone's leaving, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Marcel McKee's staying for sure. But I think if Chandru, an IG player, goes to corruption, Chance or KO has to go.
Yeah, I think it's Chance.
I think it would be Chance. If it's between Micro Chance, I think it's going to be Chance.
Yeah.
Which would be personally not the right thing to do. You keep Chance, you take KO, but I understand the liaison, I understand, he's kind of the husband of the manager.
Yeah.
But again, it could make for fun storylines, but I get it. For me, I really want KO. Corruption, I mean, but I could also see him go into a faction that would need another IG player, and for me, that would be the Stars.
Yeah, but also if Chandler's going full heel, do you want him on a heel faction or do you want him...
Roxy can support heel. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like he's going to.
She's not full heel
going
like
to
Shannon is.
Oh no, for sure. But you see, Swag is not a full heel. They dealt with the heels and faces.
Drafted to Swag, he wasn't officially a heel yet.
And if there's one person, I think the only person can do a bit of the Swag type of role of doing with both is Roxy. All right, so let's go back to the game. You want to go back in the driver's seat?
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Is this starting with me?
Yes. Okay. Go for
it. Do they have long hair?
No.
Does this competitor have a hat on?
Yes.
Is this person Alonso there all day?
No.
Damn it.
We already had Alonso.
Sorry, I pulled a J Wade and was not listening, apparently.
Yeah.
Are they smiling?
No.
Jess, I'm going to make a guess, so if I'm wrong, you win. Is it Bradley Tingle?
Fuck, yes, it is.
I personally say we should use all the faction cards all the time because
Yeah.
What if you took a mixture of all of them and put them on one card?
I'd be down for that for next time. Because after a while, it's not like eliminating the features; it's eliminating who's been got already.
Yeah.
Which I suck at it apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that for next time.
Yeah.
All right.
So one or two more?
Yep.
What?
Do you want to shuffle it, or am I going first again?
I'll mix it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jay.
Okay. You.
All right. So, does this person have glasses on of any kind?
No.
Is this person wearing a colored T-shirt?
Technically, they're all colored T-shirts.
No.
Okay, anything that's not white or...
No. That's no.
Are they smiling?
No.
Okay. No glasses. Oops. Give me a second. Does this competitor have short hair?
Yes.
Is this competitor Jader Paramo?
Nope.
Have we already asked if they've got facial hair?
No, we never asked
No.
that.
Okay, have they got facial hair?
Nope.
Okay.
Did we ask if this person was smiling?
We
Yeah,
did.
they're not.
They're not. Okay,
Not
they're
smiling.
not. Okay.
Yeah, not smiling.
All right. Eliminates him. Is this Paul Yama?
No.
I went by default again. Is it Ben Goddard?
Yes.
That was going to be my guess anyway, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
okay. He's playing with. Okay.
We've got one more. And go.
Have you chosen?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this person Caucasian?
Yes.
Is this person a male?
No.
Cool.
Are they wearing jewelry?
No.
Are they doing a pose?
No.
You know what? I'm going to take a stab in the dark. Is it Lacey? Damn.
Is it Laura Kelly?
Nope. We already did Laura Kelly.
Let me guess here. Is it Haley Fouch?
Yes.
Yes.
So I suggest you guys should write down who the answers are.
When did we do Laura Kelly?
It was like my second one.
Yeah,
Oh,
a few back.
okay.
And this is where I mean we should have a full board of just all the competitors.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or at least like I don't know about you guys. I use my phone, so that might be a bit hard on the eyes. But at least just have all the
I'm
cards.
using my second monitor, so I'm flipping back and forth.
Nice.
Well, I've already got all the cards, and sometimes they go too far. I'm like, wait, that's not who I'm supposed to pick from.
What I'm thinking I'm going to do is I will make one big card, multiple ones with different people from the Schmoedown, and I will upload it and do it like this so that the people can see it too. Who
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh,
Because
yeah,
they can't see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
So if I could do that, that's what I'll do, guys. So then they can kind of play along with
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you can actually set it up so we could be along the bottom instead of on the side like that. So that's pretty cool. No, I do like that. Just still send me a copy so I can go off of.
Yeah.
All right. And one day I would like to go back to the OJ format too, of like more of the accomplishments and do it back and forth, because the accomplishments too, that's a challenging one.
Yeah.
All right. So that being said, again, Soda, Double D, Kiwi, thank you so much for giving me an amazing show. Jay Wade, yeah, he did not bad as a producer today. Thank you. Again, for all the people who stuck from the beginning, or even if you joined the middle, thank you very much for joining. And don't forget, if you're not subbed, subscribe. And Soda, do you have any new projects coming up soon on Schmoes on Earth?
Okay, so 2 nights ago we did the all-night taco stand. We went for 8 hours, something like that. Jeff?
7 hours.
7.5.
Yeah, we went to like 3 a.m. Pacific time. So check that out. There was a lot of fun to be had on there.
Oh yeah.
But also
we had Kaiser, Moose Haas, David B, Justin the Juice, Video Drew, Nerd Chronic, and a lot of other guests.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of
So
fun
much
at
fun.
people's expense. So definitely check that out. But also tonight we are doing something similar, not going as long. We are doing in honor of the 8th anniversary of Doctor Who. We're going to be doing a stream tonight on Doctor Who. We're going to be going until 50 wants to call it. So definitely check that out. 6 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern tonight.
Can I go in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it similar to the taco stand. So whoever wants on can come on.
All right, sounds good.
Yay.
Just
All right.
prepare for 50 to keep giving you shit about the Benoptra.
I'm so sorry.
Don't
I really
be.
didn't know I would affect him that much. But anyways, it's all good. We'll resolve that tonight. Again, thank you very much for everyone listening. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Salut.
You want to hear something funny? The mic wasn't on that whole time.
No way.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, wow.
So smooth.